Hello, everybody. I am The Worm. I'm back with some more VLR. And we are back in the flowchart because I have been informed that apparently when you come upon a green, it's a lock. It's a lock. It's just, presented as a book in this game. But when you come upon a green lock that wasn't previously, an unopened book, then that means you actually have to play the scene twice. So I was confused last time because, it was my first time getting there, and then it just went to the to be continued or something like that. And so apparently all that means is you just have to play it again, and then you'll continue. So, I think I'm gonna do that. Uh, Mostly because I don't want to deal with betraying Luna just yet. So I think I'm gonna go back here and see how it goes if we continue here. Let's see if it. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. Then suddenly the world shifted. So I believe the comments told me. I think two people told me about this. Basically, so the situation here is, um, and I think that would make this. Well, no, never mind. The situation is, we know now where Alice ends up. That being the lounge. No, excuse me. We're in the lounge right now. That being the crew quarters. So I guess rather than going on a big, a huge search where we go to the, downstairs and then go to the garden and the pantry and all that stuff, I guess we're going straight to the crew quarters now. So then suddenly the world shifted. For just an instant, I was somewhere else entirely. My mind reeled, and then, just as I'd begun to adjust, it was gone, as if nothing had happened. What was that? It was the same sensation I'd felt when I saw the vision of the bombs exploding. Had it been a premonition? This is bad. I need to find Alice now. But where could she be? Damn it, Alice, where are you? Huh. Interesting. I wonder if this is meant to be like a kind of introduction to this idea. Although it would feel strange if you did this route much later. But because at least, considering how many times I've seen Alice dead in that room. Well, it's only been once, actually. Hang on. I guess just because I did this route first and I just saw her with a knife in the... Do you think... No, I didn't have to do that first. What's the prerequisite for this turning green, I wonder? Is this just naturally unlocked? Or what do you have to do first? Yeah, I'm wondering if this is just naturally unlocked because it's you go through, you eventually find her in the crew quarters, and so then I guess you just go back and do it a second time. Huh. Kinda weird. Sorry, I feel like I'm a bit rambly right now. What about the crew quarters? Yeah. That has to be it. Ooh, I got an achievement. Let me check that. Open the 6th lock in VLR. Huh. Interesting. It's saying I've only unlocked it now. Huh. I set off at a dead run. Yeah, so I guess there are no prerequisites. It's just green from the beginning. Interesting. I hope we don't walk in and see the moment it happens. The moment I entered the crew hallway, I made straight for the door with the number 2 room. Excuse me. Alice should be in here. I swallowed and threw open the door. Alice. So you were here. As I spoke, her eyes turned toward mine, but I didn't get the feeling that they were looking at me. Her skin was pale and sickly, and one of her hands held the scalpel that I'd caught her. Excuse me. Her skin was pale and sickly, and one of her hands held the scalpel, like I'd caught her in the middle of something.
What are you doing here?
It's okay. I'm just here to help you.
Help me? What do you mean?
Just let go of that scalpel.
No. I need it to get this bracelet off.
Huh?
Remember what Zero Jr. told us? The bracelet comes off when your heart stops. So I just have to...
Oh my goodness. Animation. Stop. Before I even finished the word, I was running. I grabbed both her arms and wrenched them back, pulling the blade away from her chest. Good reaction there, Sigma. My goodness. Oh,
No!
More animation.
Let me go! I have to do this! I can't take it anymore. This whole thing is like a nightmare I can't wake up from. The only way I'm going to get out of here is to die!
Knock it off. With a grunt, I tore the scalpel from her hands. It was a second before I felt a burning pain in my left hand. I had apparently cut myself getting the damn thing away from her. Very quickly, it progressed from a dull throbbing to a hot line of pain across my palm. I clenched my teeth and squeezed my hand tight. I was so focused on my pain that I barely heard Alice collapse. She didn't respond when I shook her. Hey, are you all right? Alice, say something. There was a moment of terror before I realized she was still breathing. I didn't know why, but it seemed she'd only passed out. Ah, shit. What am I supposed to do now? Oh, man. Maybe the infirmary? It's got all those medical things. Buoyed by adrenaline, I hefted Alice's body and took off toward the infirmary.
Alright, please pay attention, everyone. You need to hear this. The Atom has finished scanning Alice.
What did it say?
Her results are identical to Quark's. She has also been infected with Radical 6.
Phi had called everyone else back after I'd brought Alice to the infirmary. 7 sets of eyes widened as Luna spoke.
Oh no. No! What's going to happen to her? Well, like I said before, there's only one way to cure Radical 6. It's a special antiviral treatment. Whether or not there's any around here, though. No! No! Oh, Alice! I don't want you to die! Please! Please don't die! I don't want to be alone! Don't die!
Clover wrapped her arms around Alice's unconscious body and began to sob. None of us had the heart to pull her off, so all we could do was stand around and watch uncomfortably.
Ten minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Oh yeah, this, huh?
All players, please enter your votes. If no vote is recorded before the deadline has passed, any non-voting parties will automatically ally.
Guys, I think we should get back to the warehouse.
What about Alice and Quark?
I guess we're just gonna have to leave him behind.
No! I'm not leaving!
Clover?
I'm staying here! Like heck, I'm gonna leave Alice all alone! She's going to be fine. I gave her some Soberil. She'll just be sleeping like Quark. I don't care! I just want to stay with her. She shouldn't have to be all by herself.
Everything's coming up Sigma, huh? What a lucky, lucky man you are. You two are gonna be playing against Clover. If she doesn't vote, then she'll default to ally. That means if she stays here, the two of you are gonna be sitting pretty. Especially you, Sigma. After all, you've got 6 BP right now.
Are you saying I'm gonna choose Betray?
If you do, you'll get what you need to escape.
You bastard. There's no way I'd do that.
Is that so?
Yes, it is so. For one, I'm not the only one making this decision. Luna's my partner, and she'll be in the AB room with me. You really think she'd just stand by and let me do something like that? Back me up here, Luna.
Well, actually, I was planning to let you make the decision.
Why in the world would you say that?
See? Told you. You can lie to us if you want, but you can't lie to yourself.
Shut up. What?
If I might make a suggestion, what if Sigma and Luna both remained here?
Nope.
Should all 3 of you abstain, then you would all be guaranteed to ally, correct?
Nope. Doesn't work like that.
Why not?
Here, take a look at this. I pulled the scrap of paper we'd found out of my pocket. I've got to... Actually, let me reacquaint myself. So, this is the Betray Alice. We went through archives, yes. So, everyone's at 6 except Alice is at 1. That's where we're at right now, right? Okay. Or no. Everyone should be at 5 except for Phi and I, we should be at 6, right? Because they all got +2, we got +3. I think. Yeah.
What's this?
We found it when we went to the archives.
There wasn't anything like this in the pantry.
Nothing in the garden either.
I guess that they only put one in the archives. Whatever. I'll just read it for you. Here, how many times am I going to have to read this thing? Here are some more AB game rules for you. Not voting is not an option. If both parties refuse to vote, then everybody gets penalized. In other words, one person has to vote out of every color group of 3. Well, what did I just say? In other words, one person out of every color group of 3 has to vote. There we go. Get it? The whole team can't abstain.
That means either Dio or Tenmyoji's going to have to vote then. And they're playing against Alice. Oh.
Dio, are you gonna...
I guess playing against is a little generous.
Yeah. She's in a very precarious situation. In more ways than one. So, Alice is guaranteed to vote ally, which means that if Dio picks Betray...
Knock it off. You trying to get back at me for what I said earlier? No way am I gonna choose Betray. You do know her BP's at 1, right? What do you think would happen to her if I did that?
Anyone whose BP drops to 0 gets penalized, just like when you break the rules.
I wouldn't put it past you.
What?
Cool it, boys. Don't worry. I'm gonna be in that room, too. I'd planned to stay here with Quark, just to make sure he was safe. But it doesn't look like I'm gonna have that luxury. I can't trust Dio to make a decision for all three of us.
Huh. Interesting. Because he was so... He really wanted to stay the other time. But now he's saying because he can't trust Dio, he'll go.
That means we're gonna be sharing a room, bucko. I've got my eye on you. Happy now, Sigma?
Yeah, thanks. That's a relief. It's interesting that no one's calling me out because I hit betray earlier.
Exactly.
Oh man, everybody's against me. Whatever shall I do?
Can't be too careful. I wouldn't want to see Alice killed by an unfortunate accident.
What do you mean, accident?
Oh, Tenmyoji, before we went into the CDs, you told Alice there was something you wanted to tell her. What was it?
Huh? Oh, that, well, I mean, look, it wasn't important.
I don't believe you.
Just forget about it.
Question mark.
5 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Time's running out, people. Clover and I will stay here and keep an eye on Alice and Quark. Everyone else needs to go.
What?
You're staying too?
Yeah, something does happen. Clover might need a hand.
Aren't you a solo? You're playing against Kay and Quark, but with Quark out, that means Kay would get to decide this whole round.
Are you saying that you trust me?
Yes.
Even though I have 6 BP?
Yes.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Are you nuts? What happens when he gets 9 BP?
I'm not worried. Kay won't betray me.
How can you know that?
I just know, I guess.
You just know? What the fuck is wrong with you?
Had something happened between Phi and Kay while they were out exploring?
I understand. I can hardly betray trust like that, can I? I will vote for our team.
Good. We're counting on you.
I've had enough of this bullshit.
4 minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
Come on, we need to hurry.
All right, you kids. Take care of those two, okay?
Of course.
We promise.
With that, we were off. I gave one last quick nod to Phi and Clover before heading back for the warehouse at a dead run. Everybody ready? I'm going to open my AB gate. Although, I guess that doesn't really matter. You already opened one earlier.
Then only you and I remain.
Right.
Okay, let's go. Two more AB gates slid open. We all shared one last look with each other before ducking into our respective rooms. Okay.
Two minutes remain until Ambidex game polling closes.
What are you going to do? I mean, how are you going to vote?
No question. If Clover isn't voting, then she's defaulting to ally. Betraying someone who isn't even playing hardly seems fair.
Of course, I think so too. I'm just glad to hear you say it.
Luna's face broke into a warm, happy smile. Not to be sappy, but it was like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I grinned back at her before I knew what I was doing. For a minute, the nonary game didn't seem so scary. Then she spoke.
Sigma, what's wrong with your hand?
Huh?
There's something white on it.
There's what? Whoa. If I were a lesser man, I feel like I would be tempted to make some sort of joke here, but no. We're gonna avoid it. In any case, we know he got cut in the hand. Was it his left hand he got cut in? Does it go far enough back for me to know that? Well, this should be interesting. It does, in fact, go back that far enough. Let's see. His left hand, yep. Okay, so gets cut in the left hand. And rather than blood, we see this. So I remember we had the thought that, or I had the thought that, what if it's like a Terminator thing, right? Where we're actually all golems, because it even said, oh yeah, you know, you could put skin on them and they look human, and it's just perfectly, they could mimic a person or whatever. So are we a golem? Now hang on. We definitely have seen other people bleed before. Like we just saw Alice when she got stabbed in the heart. She had actual blood. So what's going on here? Do you think do you think this has anything to do with, you know, I was wondering, I think in the very beginning of the game I wondered, like, what kind of name is Sigma or Phi, you know? I'm curious if I had to, I guess, so to sort of conclude this thought, this situation, I guess this whole white blood thing is kind of making me think of that golem theory from earlier. And then thinking of it being Sigma made me think, you know, it made me think back to the name thing. Well, you know, what kind of name is Sigma? And then, you know, Phi also has a similar name. So maybe Phi and Sigma are golems. Maybe that. That's my conclusion here. Maybe it's something like that. And maybe the rest are all humans? What would the point of that be, though? Having a couple sleeper agents as members of the team? Like, what's the deal there? But yes, I'm only imagining. I'm just imagining this now. You know, part of the reason I started Let's Playing was because I do in fact watch Let's Plays myself, and so now I'm just imagining the obvious thing that probably every Let's Player made a joke about this. You know, but it's just too obvious, right? It's just okay. Let's move on. What? What the hell is this? For the first time, like, come on. The guys who made the game have to realize. Anyway, for the first time since I'd found Alice in the crew quarters, I looked down at my hand. Across the palm was some sort of strange white liquid. For a moment, I thought I'd somehow touched some white paint or something similar. But the truth was far stranger. The liquid was coming from my hand. It was coming from the cut I'd given myself when I grabbed the scalpel away from Alice. But why? Where was the blood? I felt a very odd sort of fear begin to wrap its hand around my throat. Quickly, I held my palm against my chest. I shouldn't have let Luna see that.
Are you all right?
Well, what do you mean? Well, hang on. How could you... You shouldn't have let Luna see that? But you don't know what it is. Why would you have this thought? Yeah, it's nothing. I went to the pantry while I was looking for Alice. There was some milk and I spilled it. Really? I feel like you should have gone for the paint excuse instead. Yeah, it sounded even stupider as I said it.
Really?
Yeah.
But...
Just shut up. It's fine, alright? I'm fine. Leave me alone. Ooh. I regretted the words the moment they were out of my mouth, but something was wrong. Very wrong, and my head was spinning.
Sigma...
Oh man. I'm, so sorry. Just don't worry about it, okay?
30 seconds remain until polling closes.
There was no time left. I had to vote. I turned and faced the machine. I took a few deep breaths, but the chaos in my mind refused to calm itself. Calm down. Just calm down. You need to think about the AB game right now. Just forget about your hand. Who was I kidding? There's no way I could forget something like that.
10 seconds remain until Ambidex game polling closes. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oh boy. So we are up against Clover. We wouldn't be killing her with this. But I think you all know my natural inclination here. So we are gonna go ahead and ally. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do it.
Round 2 of the Ambidex game has been completed.
Oh boy.
Results will be displayed in the warehouse. Thank you for your participation. Ambidex gates now opening.
Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. Do you think that has to... So, I'm trying to think. Okay, let's say he's a robot or something. Does that explain his weird fast-forwarding sickness he got in the security room? I don't know. I'm just trying to think of it. Luna and I stepped out of the AB room. I could see the others filing out of their rooms as we did.
So you chose Ally after all?
Yeah. To be honest, the AB game was the last thing on my mind. As chaotic as my thoughts were, they all centered on one thing. The mysterious white liquid.
Do you want to go see the results?
Sure. Luna nodded and walked off toward the projection. But I couldn't move. I glanced around to make sure no one was watching, and opened my hand. The liquid didn't seem to have clotted or run out, since it was still oozing thickly out of the slit in my hand. That's very... what am I trying to say here? Very worrisome. I think this would be the part where I would just start freaking out. What in the hell is this? Couldn't be blood, could it? No. That was impossible. No matter how many white blood cells clumped together, you'd never get anything that looked like that. And I'd never seen my blood do this before. In 22 years of life, I'd seen my body bleed many times. Scraped knees as a kid, accidental nicks with a knife as an adult. But every single time I'd bled red, like any other human being. So why was it that this time it was white? What the hell is happening to me?
Hey, Sigma, what are you doing? Get the hell over here!
Should probably wrap it or something.
They're gonna show the results!
Yeah, right. On my way. I did my best to compose myself and headed over to join the others.
Results from round 2 of the Ambidex game will now be displayed. Please direct your attention to the results screen.
Bam. Bam. It's happened. It's happened. The mythical all-ally round. It's finally here. Okay, this is great. I'm very happy to see this. But next thing I want to see is, I want to see everybody ally every round in a row. That's what I need to see. And I need everyone to get to 9 over 9 at the same time. That's what we need to happen. Okay, so Tenmyoji was able to rein Dio in. That's good. Kay kept his promise. And we made the good decision, so of course we would always win. Ba-bam.
Points have been assigned or subtracted accordingly. Please check your bracelet to see your updated bracelet points.
You know, I'm thinking Dio was probably convinced to let this one go instead of betraying because he wouldn't have made it over 9 otherwise. Okay, sorry about that. Had to pause for a second. I don't know where I left off. Anyway, I'm glad to see this result. Let's continue.
This is incredible. Look, everyone voted ally. You did just like you promised, Kay.
How could I choose betray after what Phi said to me?
Tenmyoji and Dio voted ally too.
Of course. If we hadn't, Alice would have died.
Yeah, well, that's about it, I guess.
We should thank the both of you as well.
Oh, I think I remember what I was saying. I think I was... Well, Dio, I was saying maybe he was okay with ally in this instance because it wouldn't have got him over the finish line, you know? But he's at 7 now, right? So a betrayal would get him there. So I'd be very wary of him now.
I'm happy to see you also chose ally.
Oh, I didn't have anything to do with it. That was all Sigma.
Then thank you very much, Sigma. Sigma?
Sigma's still a bit shell-shocked, I see.
Sigma, are you all right?
Come on, what's wrong? Just say something.
Huh? Oh, yeah, looks like we all allied. That's, great. Great?
Sigma, what the hell's wrong with you?
Yeah, you've been acting a little out of it ever since we came out of the AB rooms. What happened? You make it past at Luna and get shot down?
No, nothing like that.
Hey man, it was a joke. You remember what that is? A joke? You're in pretty bad shape, huh?
Before Dio could continue, the heavy metal rumble of doors shutting echoed through the warehouse.
The Ambidex gates have closed. Round 3 of the Ambidex game will be the Star Round. Star keys are required to open the gates. There is no set limit on usage of the Star keys. The Ambidex gates can be opened as many times as the players wish to open them.
We have yet to get to this part, have we? Or haven't we? At least... I think we got the star keys here, but we haven't really used them yet, right? It's interesting how this is like the third or fourth time we've heard this, but we've yet to actually get to this scenario of you know, repeating the Ambidex game as many times as we need.
We can open the gates as many times as we want to? Then that means...
We can play the AB game as many times as we like, right?
Hey, Zero Jr. said something about this, didn't he?
As soon as the gates close, your colors get all shuffled up automatically. The pair and solo assignments hop around a bit too.
Yeah, right. Sorry to be a pain, but could you all show me your bracelets? I want to see what all your colors and assignments are.
Everyone nodded and held their arms out toward him. I stared at them, terrified. Oh yeah, it's our left hand. Terrified to follow suit, but certain that refusing would only draw more suspicion. So I held my arm out, hand tightened into a white-knuckled fist to hide the cut. When their eyes landed on my hand, my heart skipped a beat.
Huh. So Dio and Kay are a yellow pair. Luna and I are both pairs, but our colors are different.
Right. You're a cyan, and I'm magenta.
That makes Sigma the only solo, huh?
I did not grasp what we were.
A red solo.
Ah, okay.
So what are the 4 we left in the infirmary?
Luna and I are pairs, so 2 of them are our partners.
That means the other 2 are solos. Although, I guess we don't know what colors they are.
They're probably green and blue.
Why's that?
Didn't you see them? There are a bunch of white doors in the Floor B warehouse. They have to be the next set of chromatic doors.
Yeah, that's the one downside, I guess, of having the format in this way, is that for each one of these things, you know, we're gonna have to get the same explanation over and over again. I guess part of it is you could just skip through it, but...
Ah, yes. Fi and I saw them as well.
Yeah, okay, so there are opportunities I can skip, but it's sometimes hard to tell when you can skip and when not.
On our way back from the garden with the unconscious Quark, and there they were. Each one had a box just like the doors on floor A. Given that, I don't see how there can be any question. Those white doors are our next set of chromatic doors.
I think that our bracelet combinations will have to add up to white in order to open the secondary doors. The pairs are cyan, magenta, and yellow. You see?
Yeah. If we need to make white, then the other 3 colors would have to be red, green, and blue.
Right.
Good. Now that we've got that figured out, I'm heading back to the infirmary for a bit. I want to check up on Quark and Alice.
I shall accompany you then.
Might as well go with you, I guess. No real reason to hang out here.
Well, what will you 2 do?
I need to talk to Sigma about something.
Uh-oh. About what?
Something?
Her usual pleasant expression had been replaced with something much more sullen. She must have noticed that there was something wrong with me. what she wanted to talk about. I was sure of it. Okay, fine. I managed to make my voice sound almost relaxed.
Whoa, hold on. A private talk? What are you guys plotting?
We're not plotting anything. I promise. It's nothing.
Fine, whatever. See if I care.
Dio tossed his head with a mixture of arrogance and feigned disinterest and marched out of the yellow door. Tunmyoji and Kay quickly followed. In only moments, all three had disappeared. Bye-bye. So, what was it you wanted to talk about? I was almost certain I knew, but there was always hope. I did my best to act as if I was genuinely confused.
Oh, I don't really like this room. Could we go somewhere else?
Okay.
Good. I found somewhere nice when I was looking for Alice earlier.
As strange as her request was, I had no reason to object. I kept my mouth shut and followed Luna as she headed off. Luna, you're not gonna, like, murder me, are you? Please don't tell me you're the one who murdered the old woman in the other timeline.
You know this place?
Yes, well, sort of. I came here once when I was looking for Alice.
Oh, I see.
So, what brings you here?
Isn't this nice? This is the only place in the whole facility with anything green. I feel kind of silly saying it, but it makes me think of the great outdoors. I think it's the perfect place for a serious conversation. Being surrounded by nature makes me feel happy. Oh, there's a bench over there. Would you like to sit down with me?
She sat down softly and gently, and I lowered myself down next to her. So, what did you want to talk to me about? Instead of answering, Luna lifted a tiny birdcage pendant she wore into the palm of her hand. She was silent for a moment and then began to talk.
Can I tell you something? This is actually a music box.
Really?
Yes.
She twisted the key on the bottom, and it made an almost imperceptible winding noise. When she released it, soft, clear notes drifted out. It's a nice song. Why'd you bring that up, though?
Because I wanted you to know, I guess. I wanted you to know more about me. Maybe it's because I'm so shy, but I don't really have any friends. Or even any acquaintances, really. So I've sort of always been alone. It was really hard. I felt so lonely a lot of the time. And it hurt. It felt like I was just kind of going to collapse from the inside out. That was when I got this music box. Someone very important gave it to me. They didn't say anything, but I felt like there was an unspoken message behind it. Luna, happiness is closer than you think. Do you know Maeterlinck's The Bluebird?
Yeah. Well, I know the gist of it. I think it starts on Christmas Eve. This brother and sister named Till and Mittil get asked to find a bluebird by this old woman, and they travel to the dream world, or something. Anyway, supposedly, if you can catch this bird, then you can make a wish come true. So, they visit all these different places, but they can't find it. Eventually, they give up and go home, but when they wake up, the bird is in a birdcage in their hut.
That's right. It's a well-known story, and it teaches a simple lesson.
Yeah, like you said, happiness is closer than you think.
Right, it got me thinking. Maybe the person who gave me this music box was trying to tell me just that. I don't know if that's true. Maybe all of this is just in my head, but I really felt like that was what they'd meant. It was so kind. I kept it with me all the time, like a kind of good luck charm. But one day I realized something. There was another meaning to the bluebird. In Maeterlinck's original story, it doesn't end with them waking up.
There's more?
Yes, when Tiltil and Nittil try to feed the bird, it leaves the cage and flies away. And then the story ends.
Whoa. What about the moral then?
It changes. Now the message is that just when you think you found happiness, you'll lose it again. I thought about that for a while, but in the end, it didn't change how I felt. I don't know what they intended it to mean when they gave it to me, but I decided how I was going to look at it. It means that happiness is something you should always be looking for, and it's only when you're pursuing happiness that you're truly happy. You know, Sigma, I think you might be Tiltil.
What?
You know, the boy who the old lady asked to find the bluebird on Christmas Eve.
What are you trying to say?
Can I ask you something?
Sure.
Where did you find Alice?
What does that have to do with anything?
Just answer me. Where did you find Alice?
Room 2 in the crew quarters.
Where were you before that?
I was in the lounge. That was after we'd split up to go look for Alice. First place I went was the lounge.
So you went from the lounge to the crew quarters, where you found Alice, and then you rushed her to the infirmary, right?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this then. How do you know about the garden? Just now you said you'd come here when you were looking for Alice.
Oops. You let that slip there, Sigma.
Didn't you? That doesn't make any sense. There wouldn't have been any time for you to visit the garden while you were looking for Alice. So tell me, Sigma, how do you know about this place?
Well, I didn't know what to say. I couldn't even explain it to myself. Why had I told her I knew about the garden? I had told her I'd been there before.
Sigma, are you a robot?
Okay.
Have you always been here?
Yeah, she's going for me right here, huh? You're not even, you're just jumping, going straight for the jugular on this one, aren't you? Okay. What?
See, it would make so much sense if you were. That would explain why you knew about the garden, and it would explain that cut on your left hand.
Damn. So you did see it, huh?
Yes. I've been told that robots these days have what's called artificial biological tissue, or ABT, on top of a metal skeleton. It makes them look almost exactly like a human, and ABT uses this white liquid instead of blood.
What, so this is just common knowledge? This isn't a feature of whatever secret facility this is? Maybe it says that in one of these things. Oops, sorry. For some reason, when Luna called me a robot, it hadn't really fazed me. Maybe because it was just so out there. It didn't sound like a real possibility. It sounded more like a theory you'd get from someone in a nut house. Well, thank you very much, Sigma. That's nice to hear. Still, my hand was still oozing white liquid. Was I really a robot? No, that was impossible. I needed to stop doing that. Questioning myself so much was giving me heart palpitations. Luna, Aren't you a little scared?
Scared? Why would I be scared?
Well, let's say I am a robot. That means there's a pretty good chance that Zero's pulling my strings. That would make me your enemy.
Oh, I guess so. Well, even if you were, I wouldn't be scared.
Why not?
Maybe because you're a robot.
Huh?
Have you ever heard of the 3 laws of robotics?
Yes. Yes, I've heard of that.
They were a set of rules created by the science fiction author Isaac Asimov that he used in several of his stories.
Uh-huh. Rule 1. A robot may not injure a human being or through inaction allow a human being come to harm. Rule 2. A robot must obey any orders given to it by human beings except when such orders would conflict with the first law. Rule 3. A robot must protect its own existence as long as the protection does not conflict with the first or second laws. Oh yeah, I've heard of those before. That's just an ideal, though. You could work toward that, but I don't think you could ever actually achieve it. I mean, depending on how you program them, robots could pretty much do whatever they wanted to.
Yes, you're right, but I believe in them. In you. However you're programmed, I don't think you'd break any of the 3 laws. A robot without the 3 laws is just a bunch of metal and plastic. That's not you. You have a heart. You're a good person. It's in your eyes.
Is it weird to say I really don't like the direction of this conversation?
Well, I guess I'm just kind of assuming you're a robot.
Yeah, I was too, to be honest, but it feels weird when you're doing it.
There's still a chance you're not. We should run some tests.
Tests?
Yes.
How?
Well, the Atom should be able to tell us.
Oh yeah, that thing in the infirmary. I heard the crunch of dried leaves behind us. But when I turned, there was nothing. Who is it?
Is someone there?
Just me. Sorry, but can you guys come over here?
Phi.
I need you to see something.
Was she listening in? Luna and I shrugged at one another. Excuse me, looked at one another, shrugged, and stepped into the bushes. Wait, we're going into bushes?
Welcome.
What? How long have you been here?
I just got here a little while ago.
Did you hear what we were saying?
No. Were you talking about something you didn't want me to know about? Whatever. Just have a look at this.
I followed the line of her finger. Ah, there is a bomb. Shit. This is...
An antimatter bomb.
Exactly. I'm pretty sure someone didn't move it here from the crew quarters. In fact, I'm pretty sure it's an entirely different box. Look at the number on the side.
It says 01.
And the one in the crew quarters said 3, right? Then that must mean...
Shit. There's no question, huh?
I've got more good news. Just think about the numbers for a moment.
You're saying there's a 2 bomb out there somewhere?
I can't be sure, but it does seem pretty likely.
Damn it. That means we're dealing with a combined explosive power equal to 3 tons of TNT.
Yeah.
Who planted them?
Was it you guys? I mean, you've been in here quite a while.
Hey, don't give me that. You're way more suspicious than we are. What were you doing in the bushes anyway?
Well, I was taking a walk.
Sure. Taking a walk. You really think I'm gonna buy that?
Fine. You got me. I heard you two were off talking in secret, so I got curious and went back to the Floor A warehouse. Of course, you weren't there. That seemed pretty suspicious to me, so I headed here. And just as I'd suspected, there you were, talking on the bench. I snuck up from behind so you wouldn't notice me. Then, just as I was getting close enough to hear, I found the bomb. So, believe me now?
So, who planted the bomb?
Honestly, it could have been any one of us. Anybody could have come here while we were all looking for Alice.
We need to tell everyone about this then.
Yeah, you're right. Let's head back to the infirmary. Okay, how long have I been going? Well, I think I'm getting right up to time, so I think we'll call it here for now. Well, obviously I can't sound very clever when the game just comes right out and says what I was thinking, huh? Oh, hey, maybe he's a robot. And then the game's like, yeah, stupid, of course you're supposed to think that. So, obviously the game going right out and saying that makes me instantly want to not believe it, you know? That's, you know, getting into that sort of meta reasoning where you're not entirely sure what to trust from the game. And if it feels like you're getting answers kind of early, you kind of want to dismiss those early answers. So, I don't know. I guess if he is a robot, I guess a twist could be that Phi is also one, you know, if I was continuing on my thoughts from earlier. Obviously, we're probably not going to be able to do the Adam thing because that would answer our question, wouldn't it? It is strange to me, the idea that that they'd put robots in here when there's such a... It feels like there's... You know, all you have to do is get cut, and you're revealed as a robot. So, I don't know. Maybe it was... Felt like that was an okay risk to take. I don't know. Okay, I've got to try and think about some of the stuff that went on. Because we were... Well, yeah, we'll deal with it next time. I'll sum up next time what's been going on. Okay. I've been The Worm, and this has been VLR. Hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.